Good morning, guys. It is 7:15 in the morning and today I have got quite a busy day. I'm going to Manchester, I am going to my agency, and then I've got a photo shoot. I'm going to take you guys with me for the whole day and just show you kind of like a day in the life, I guess. I've literally just downed a big old pint of water just to get my system going. I'm downing a big old pint of coffee to get me going, and then I'm going to put some makeup on and sort my outfit out. Typically for obviously going to my agency, I would wear something black, something quite simple, because normally get some update Polaroids taken, so it always best to wear black, something quite plain so they can send it off to other brands and stuff like that. Makeup's quite simple as well, because obviously you have to look quite natural so they can see your natural features as well. And yeah, that's everything. So I will check in with you guys when I'm all done. I'm gonna need a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee. And that is me done. So I've just put on this black midi dress here, and I've also just put some everyday simple makeup on. Nothing too crazy, just nice and natural for today. I've literally just brushed my hair and yeah, I'm all finished. So off to Manchester. Thank you. Oh, needed. Hi, it's Beth. So I've just left my agency now. Had a really good chat with them. They were just wanting to make sure, I'm happy and healthy, which is really nice of them, and got some Polaroids done so I can send them off to some brands and clients. I actually asked my booker if she had any tips for models wanting to get into the agency or start modelling, and she gave me some really good advice, so when I am back home I will share that guide with you all, but for now, food. So I am on the way to the photo shoot. I made a bit of a blunder. I didn't check the email and I ended up going to the wrong place. But I'm in an Uber now, I'm on the way. I've told the photographer and I'm just like so embarrassed because this literally never happens to me. Full days, the day I decide to film, I decide to get lost, confused, and it's just typical, but this normally literally never happens. I normally triple check the location. The shoot should go okay, just 15 minutes late. So that is my photo shoot done. I didn't take any footage when I was in there just because I was so tight for time that I just didn't really think it was okay to ask if I could then take some photos and whatever when I was in there. So just got in, got the photos. They look really good from what I can see. So now I'm gonna head back to the train station and go back home. So I'm back home. It is about 7 o'clock and I just want to sit down and give some tips and advice for anyone who maybe wants to be a model or like be in an agency, something along those lines. Like if you aspire to be in the modelling world, like this tip there, this might be helpful. I've been modelling for the past 3 years now. I am in no way, shape or form the most successful person out there, but I've been in this whole world long enough to have some solid, hopefully some solid advice for you guys, because if I haven't learned anything, then I don't know what I've been doing for the past 3 years. Number one advice, by no means the most important, but an important thing. Be reliable. I can literally not stress how many times I have got a last minute phone call or message asking if I could do a shoot or go somewhere for a casting. If you want to be in this modelling business, you will take the time to rearrange, shift your schedule around and find a way to get to where you need to be for that last minute thing. So being reliable is really important, because I've had it before where I have shifted things around or cancelled plans so I could get somewhere, and then my agency have come back and been like, oh, that's so good that you went, so glad that we can rely on you to go and do these things that we're asking of you. So they remember that in their heads. So then they will then think of me or another person who's really reliable as the first port of call when they're thinking of people who they could get in touch with last minute, because they know that they're the ones who want it the most, so they're willing to change their schedule around. People who are like, oh no, like I've already got this plan, I'm already doing this, I'm already seeing a friend, or like something like that, like after a couple times of asking them, they're gonna forget that person is on their agenda. Like, it sounds really harsh, but that's just how it is naturally sometimes. During my last year of uni, when I was doing modelling part-time, like I would make sure that I had my work life together so I could have my model life together. You can have the best of both. It just depends on how willing you are to prioritise things. So yeah, if you really want to get into the modelling business, just be reliable and make sure your agency know that you are willing to do whatever to get to where you need to be. Number 2, nowadays social media is such a big influence on your work. Like, I cannot tell you how many times that I have had photographers direct message me on Instagram asking if I was wanting to work with them because they've seen something that I posted on my account. I've been messaged many more times on Instagram than I have through my agency, because photographers nowadays will find models through Instagram to shoot. They will see a photo that they've posted of somewhere they've been or something they're wearing and be inspired and then want to work with them. So my second piece of advice would be to make your social media your portfolio. Make it like the best highlight reel of what you can do. Like, make sure that you've got a bit of everything in there, because yes, going to a casting and handing them your portfolio is great, but the likely chance is they might also look at your Instagram or social media, see how active you are on there, see your following, see what kind of range you have, or like your lifestyle or something. They're going to be interested in you, and if you're what they're looking for, they might be looking at your social media, and if they can't really see much of your work on there, that could actually affect your job. And and that actually makes me upset that happens nowadays, because I'd much rather make a great first impression face to face than online. History has shown me that happens a lot more than it does like with castings nowadays. Fun fact, when I was actually interviewing for my agency that I went to today, I showed them my Instagram account and they were much more impressed with what my Instagram was providing than my actual portfolio. So it does make a difference. So just, make your Instagram your online portfolio. Think about it like that. Tip number 3. In my opinion, this is the most important tip, because this is also something that it took me a while to learn as well, and that is to just be confident in yourself. It sounds like so simple saying it, but it's so important, because if you walk into a casting or go into a walk-in for an agency and you get told no or rejected and you have a self-esteem like down to here, it's just going to go further down. So you have to be really confident and comfortable with yourself, know what you're bringing to the table, know that even if you get no, you're still good enough, and that no doesn't mean a no everywhere. It's just not what they're looking for. It's nothing personal, and just be happy within yourself. If you know that you are like a happy, healthy human being, then that's all that should matter at the end of the day. Like, that is everything. And there may be things that you see as flaws, but other people might see as like your greatest strength. You never know. So don't be ashamed of your flaws, because that could also be your strength. But you also have to be self-accepting and happy and comfortable with the things that you see as flaws, because at the end of the day, as a model, you're going to see your face and your body a lot. And if the only thing that you see when you look at those photos are your flaws, you are going to be so unhappy all the time, because that's the only thing you're going to notice. But if you're like, okay, well, I don't like my nose, I think it's a bit too big, but it's how I was made, it's how I'm born, so I'm not gonna, you know, beat myself up about it. But I have like a really good chest, or I have really good legs, like my legs are amazing. And then you're looking at the photos, just look at your legs, just look at the good things that you're seeing, and you won't even really start to notice the flaws. So if you're comfortable in your body and in yourself, and you know what you're bringing to the table, then you're gonna find modelling a lot easier. I personally took a while to come to this because I thought I was confident in myself. I thought I was happy with how I am, but the rational part with me was like, you're healthy, you're happy, you are fine. And then I would get to castings and I would immediately compare myself to everyone, and it was so unhealthy, like so unhealthy. For me personally, my thighs have always been like my biggest flaw. I've always been really conscious of the size of them, even though there's literally nothing wrong with them. It's just because they don't have a thigh gap, and society tells me to be pretty I have to have a thigh gap. And for ages I didn't realise how much I internalised that, because the moment I'd look at a photo I'd be like, oh, I don't have a thigh gap, so I'm not pretty. And now it's just such a, it makes me so sad thinking about it, how much I was dictating my happiness over my health. Like it just, oh, I just wish I could give like me a little hug. And so it literally took me, I'm gonna say years, it took me years to get to a place where I felt genuinely happy in my body, and was genuinely self-accepting of the idea that I am a healthy human being, I eat pretty damn well, I exercise regularly. There is no reason for me to be hating on this body when I am literally giving it the best I can. When I was at my agency, I actually got my measurements, and my measurements were correspondent with a size 12. I'm a size 10, like I've always bought size 10 dresses, size 10 everything, but that was correspondent with their sizes, and they were like, is it okay if we put you down as a 12? And if you'd asked me that two years ago, maybe even a year ago, I probably would have cried, and I probably would have been so upset and immediately thought, oh my god, I've gained weight, I'm gonna have to, you know, cut this out or exercise more. But when they asked me, I literally was like, yeah, like it's fine, like if that's how my body is, that's how it is. And they were kind of shocked by my response, but it's because it's taken me so long to get to this place of like genuine self-acceptance. So if you are kind of self-doubting yourself, like, oh, am I actually in this place? Just be 100% confident that modelling is exactly what you want to do, because I wish that I could go and give myself a little hug and just be, you know, happier within myself. It would have saved me so many years of self-doubt and sadness and tears and the fucking horrible detox teas and weight loss shakes that I was drinking thinking it was going to be a solution, when actually it just gave me the shits. Just save your money, save your time, and save your health. Well, that's a bit more of a rant than I think I was going to do. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. So when I was asking my booker if she had any tips for models who were, you know, wanting to do walk-ins or aspire to be a model, she spoke about, you know, she wants models to be happy within themselves. The first thing that she did when I got there was ask how I am. She asked, you know, how I'm feeling about myself, what I'm doing, am I active, am I, you know, taking care of myself. And I genuinely don't think that many agencies do that. Maybe I'm just having, you know, a normal experience or a lucky experience, but it's genuinely really nice to hear that my booker is actually genuinely interested in my own well-being. So that's her overall ethos towards all models that are with the agency. She just wants them all to be happy and healthy. And if you're walking in and you're not happy and healthy, she probably won't book you, just for your own sake. So a good tip she actually gave me was, she talked about finding your niche. That basically is just like the category that you would fit in as a model. So what I was talking about earlier about bringing things to the table, knowing what you bring to the table, but knowing what you bring that's different and new to the table. So if you're walking in and you're a size 8 model with brown long hair that looks a bit elfish, girl, they got a lot of those. And she was saying it's so important to know what's unique and different about you and what you're bringing to a casting that no other model can bring. So knowing what you have, knowing what you can accentuate, accepting what you don't like, knowing you are unique and different to everyone else, and you cannot compare yourself to other people, because that is the fucking sin. I think that's kind of covered it all. Yeah, that's all my advice. Let me know if you thought my advice was at all helpful or not, if you want me to, you know, talk any more about any more info. I had a lot of fun making this. I don't normally make videos outside my bedroom walls, so it was quite nice to step out for a bit and do that. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are new, you can subscribe here, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye! Doodaloo!